Hello, everyone. Just back at the Gilberto Silva podcast for the coming season 2021. It's becoming quite excited. Let me introduce you again, a familiar person that has joined me since last season. Big friend of mine, Chin Chase. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, mate. Oh, I've just seen myself in the video and I look so old. It's only been a few weeks since we did the podcast, last season's podcast, and I look like it's been about 10 seasons ago. So what lockdown and kids do to you, right?
You were the problem of the lockdown.
Yeah, being around my family too much.
That's good. That's good. It's good to be back. It's good to be back after a while. We took a break. We've even at the beginning of the season, we missed a few of the games, but we are gonna go through some of the games of this new season. Yes, I had to take a break also for particular reason. I had a knee surgery. It's so full, man.
What was wrong with your knee? What operation did you have?
Yeah, I had a meniscus surgery on my left knee this time. I think he became jealous of the right knee, and this might be the reason. But yeah, everything.
What stopped your career, wasn't it? That injury?
Yeah, my last year, I had a big trouble about my knee. I had a few surgeries that was a nightmare, big nightmare. But thanks
So what
God.
the fans are going to want to hear is that mean you're coming back? You're coming out of retirement to boss the midfield again at the Emirates.
I need to work so hard to get there to be back. When I watch that game, they look so fast. I think forget it.
Yeah.
Just run on a different way, on a mind way.
Yeah.
Try to help them in the future. Let's see.
Nice.
But anyway, I'm really, everything went fine with the surgery,
Good.
and the knee is getting better day by day. The physio already started, and just excited to be play football very soon. Hope so.
Nice.
But,
Are you going to be playing for your local six-a-side team or?
no, honestly, I'm not really enjoying much play football. I was doing a different kind of sport we call here foot volley.
Okay.
And play two against two on sand, like beach volley.
Yeah.
It's very enjoyable, pure technique, but we still very competitive
Really?
between us. Me and a couple of friends. No contact, very important thing.
Yeah.
Very important at this stage. But yeah, very soon everything will be perfect, 100%. And just carry on my life in a better way. I still love doing sports, and was a nightmare, living with this without solving it. And now I'm sure everything will be fine.
Good. Fingers crossed, mate.
Yeah, thank you. But there's kind of good things for us to talk, especially about Arsenal. Focus this is about Arsenal mainly. And of course, we're going to discuss a few things about other games, but very little. And because there's a lot of good things to Arsenal to talk about. And but before we talk, let's go back, to this last weekend. What a great weekend in England.
Exactly. Let's laugh at Man United and Liverpool for a bit. What's going on?
It was great. Yeah, it's very different weekend for both of them.
Yeah.
Very strange, for football fan to see how things change so fast in football. If you, analyzing first Manchester United and Tottenham, Manchester United started very, very comfortable, score a fast goal on penalty.
Yeah.
And very soon things change in football. It's how crazy football is and how exciting can become for one team and not really for another one become a nightmare.
No. So how did you think about the way Solskjaer set up against Spurs? Obviously having Pogba and Matic in the middle. Is that a combination that you think works?
I have my doubts. I have my doubts about it. But
Well, 6-1. I think everyone has their doubts.
yeah, I have my doubts because Matic basically is the guy who holds the position, and he can stop players. Pogba, he does it not very often as Matic does, and seems like there was a lot of space for them, but they could not find, a way after. Consider the equalizing goal was seems like a mistake for me from the defenders.
It was Maguire. Maguire was like all over the show, wasn't
Why he tried to head the ball, and after that had the ball to the goalkeeper, and after that they conceded the goal was. And after they got lost and they got caught on, then we see the second goal, how important for Tottenham, Harry Kane and the partnership between Harry Kane and Son.
Yeah,
the way they work, the way they look each other, they always trying to find each other. When they got one of them get the ball, and he just received a foul. Harry Kane, and immediately he passed the ball to Son, and he scored. And after that, Manchester United lost completely in the game, because things happen very fast. The first goal, the second goal, and the third goal, everything so fast.
Yeah, and then the penalty, then the sending off.
Exactly.
I mean, and nowadays that is a sending off. I mean, it was a bit pathetic of not Lallana. I'm forgetting the guy's name.
Martial.
Yeah, who Martial got sent off, and Lamela, wasn't it? That kind of hit on the face and then paused and then dived on the ground.
South America, Argentina, South America.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I know their games. In South America, it's very common. Especially Argentina is always hard when Brazilian clubs play against Argentinian clubs, and especially in Copa Libertadores, they always this. Sometimes shit game,
They call it. We call it shithousery.
Kind of reaction, huh?
In England, we call it shithousery, and the Argentinians the perfect at shithousery. But he would be pleased because he feel like in his, like you say, from Argentina, that's how they're brought up. But he feel like he would have won his team the edge by doing that.
I think for them it works, because you got Martial sent off, but he reacts. This is for sure. I don't know what the referee saw. Probably only Martial.
Yeah, well, he should have got sent. If one goes, they both have to go. And in fact, Luke Shaw's.
There's like, from my perception, the referee was not far from the position they were. They have seen. He has seen something. I don't know how much he has seen in this particular situation. Because when I look it very careful, they show it a few times on TV. Martial got provoked by Lamela. He put his arm on his chest, and then he reacts. Man, I had a strange situation when I got sent off against Blackburn. I remember, it reminded me of the situation with Rob Savage. He knocked my back while I was on the floor. I just put my leg straight, and he touched my leg and fall. I know it's like your reaction causes your trouble. For think somebody, kick you on the field. It's ridiculous. I understand. I understood that seeing Martial's face, how frustrated he was after receiving the.
He was in the wrong, but if Martial has to go, so does Lamela. He started the whole thing. And in fact, Luke Shaw's tackle was far worse than either of those. Luke Shaw should have been sent off. His tackle was pretty awful.
Did you see outside the line? So shy.
The background is like that.
I've seen Michael Carrick. I think he was outside as well, very close. He put the hands on his face. Come on, sent off.
Lucky boy to stay off.
For sure. But it's like kind of rules. Honestly, I don't really understand. How they work.
And
another question. The VAR. was not used this time.
I know you don't like VAR, and I still, it's better than last season because last season was ridiculous. But the one thing that I think that everyone who's ever seen a football match recently hates is the new ridiculous handball rule. I mean, it surely has to go back to, has he intended to do it? Because you're seeing penalties and goals disallowed and things for the most ridiculous things. And I think everyone just needs to go back to how it was before. If he meant to handball it, it's a handball. If he's standing there and someone blasts the ball at him from 5 yards, it's not a handball because he can't really do much about it. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But I think Man United have got a couple of problems. I think they keep signing midfielders and I don't get it because obviously got Fred that I think would complement Pogba, but they've got a few things. They've got two creative people in there. Obviously, Fernandes, who's flying at the moment, and his new signing for him when he came last season changed Man United massively. So he was a great signing. But they've also got Pogba, who both of those two are both kind of creative midfielders. I don't know if you can have them in the same team without having then two sort of defensive-minded or mobilised midfielders to allow them to run free. Like before we started, you were saying obviously we need someone like Fred who can get around the pitch and disrupt stuff, not just slowly relying on matches with it coming the other way. I also think that they're trying to play out the back. I don't know if what happened in the summer to Maguire has affected his confidence because he doesn't seem that half the player he was before he left Leicester for 80 million. And then Bailly just looks like a weak link in there. Like the third goal was a pass they're trying to play out from the back, and Bailly just went straight across his goal, which is intercepted. I think it was Harry Kane intercepted it, went straight over to Son, and Son squared it, and within seconds of getting sent off, they were 3-1 down, and there's no comeback from that. I just think there's too much going wrong. And I saw actually a really interesting quote in the papers on social media from Wayne Rooney. He's going, why are they fighting for 108 million for Jadon Sancho? Use that money to buy Harry Kane. You need someone to buy like that. Don't worry about Jadon Sancho. Harry Kane is the main defender.
He's flying. He's flying. He could be appropriate for them if they are looking for a striker to be, in their team. For sure, would be a massive sign for them if they should do it. If they do it, it's like. But
it's the defense.
Never mind. I think they need to sort out this problem because I've watched some of their games. Seems they like facing a few problems at the back.
At least six problems at the back.
It's like it's not been. When I look them, it seems they are lack in confidence.
Huge.
It's like the opponents observe that, they pay attention, they take advantage of it. But then let's move to another one, which I believe that shocks the world.
Yeah.
What can you say about Aston Villa 7-2 against Liverpool? Wow.
Isn't it? And it could have been more. It should have been about 11.
And one thing with 11 men, not down to 10 men like Manchester United.
Yeah, I was watching some analysis on it. It was the high. Obviously, Liverpool play with a high defensive line, and what they weren't doing yesterday was they high lines are great to play, but unless you have someone putting pressure on the guy with the football, they were doing the high line, but there was no pressure on the guy with the football. I don't think Henderson was playing. Mane wasn't playing, and obviously those are the two guys that are very, very active right from the front of winning the ball back as soon as Liverpool lose possession, and that's why Liverpool can counteract and score so many goals going back the other way. Because when they do get ball back, the defensive unit is quite high to compress the play, right? And yesterday they were defending incredibly high as they usually do, no pressure on the ball, which meant that Villa just had to do one or two passes and they were straight through. Like, there could have been 3 or 4 players that got hat tricks.
Exactly, they were lucky. Because
it could have been massive.
For the chance Aston Villa missed in counter-attack, and they could have scored at least 2 more goals, at least, easily. But very strange to see the way the Liverpool played. Seems like they could not react could not react with the pace of Villa, the way Villa managed the game. Yeah, score 1, 2, 3 goals. Of course, may worth to say that some of their goals they were, let's say, a little bit luck because there was a deflection.
Yeah.
But when the situation happened, seems like the players were not believing what was going on in the game.
Yeah, which is in shock. Well, I think
Their face, yeah, they were like in shock. What's going on here? This used to work for us last season. Now it's not happening in this particular game. Very, very strange reaction from them. And it's shocking. I think for everyone because we don't expect them to lose a game like this, consider so many goals. Of course, if Villa won the game, 1-0, 2-1, 3-1, this, if you think before the game is more reasonable, but considering this amount of game is something for football fun, is a bit shocking. But it's football. It's football. You may bet what?
It's why we like the game so much. It's why we love the game so much. Because these things can happen.
Exactly, everything can happen. If you are not in a good day, the opponent take advantage. And congratulations to Villa because the game was 3-1, 4-1. They keep going. They didn't stop. Yeah. They did what they had to do because if we were in the other way around, they would suffer the same knockdown.
Yeah, well, they probably realised that the league's probably going to be quite close this season, so they need to get a good goal difference because it could come to a couple of goals between what teams relegated. But I think obviously Alisson wasn't in goal and Adrian was in goal, and he had a horrific pass which he mislaid, which led to their first goal, and I think that just shattered the confidence with everyone. But it's nice to see. It's great to see. Unless you're a Liverpool fan or a Man United fan, it's always nice to see the big clubs winning. Obviously, this is mainly an Arsenal podcast, so we should probably stop talking about Spurs and stuff, and let's get on with the Arsenal because the old Arsenal are doing well at the moment, aren't they?
Very good. I'm really happy to see the way they start the season. 4 games, 9 wins, 1 defeat to Liverpool away. The first result 3-0 against Fulham, then 2-1 against West Ham home. Then the defeat against Liverpool 3-1, and yesterday 2-1 against Sheffield United.
Sheffield United, a good team as well.
Sorry?
Sheffield United aren't a tough team to beat, I think.
Exactly. Not easy to play against them. And it's important for Arsenal starting well the season as they start. 4 games, 9 points. Well, of course, when you look at the game against Liverpool, we would expect them at least to have a draw. But when playing against the champions, we knew it was going to be hard, especially after their last match, the end of the last season.
Yeah.
Well, Arsenal beat them. And it's something, for them to come on. This is our turn. But great to see that things are starting well for the team, and hope when they start again, the team after the international break, they come back with their mind at Arsenal to improve in every game.
Yeah, we said when the last episode of the podcast last year, we were saying that actually Arteta's had a really good season. First, winning the FA Cup, obviously then winning the Community Shield, and he's making lots of good changes. He's like losing some players that weren't necessarily what he was looking for or in the mould of the team that he wanted to create. And he had a good win ratio with the last games that came through. And obviously having to come back in the weirdest time the world has ever seen with the coronavirus. So you were kind of rightly saying in the last season, that things look really positive, and it looks like Arteta's the man for the job. He ticks all the boxes. Looks like a really good manager, and it looks like you're absolutely right. He's slowly bringing in some players that he feels are what he's looking for. So we've got, the signings. What do you reckon of the signings?
Well, they are good players. They are doing well. For example, a very good surprise for me. Gabriel Magalhães started very well at Arsenal. Centre back, I think. No, he's the second centre back. Third. First was Gabriel Paulista. Then he went to Valencia. Then Davi Luiz. Now Gabriel Magalhães.
You love the Brazilian, don't you?
Yeah, I think the last few years, since when Silvinho joined the club, it's been it's quite a good connection between Arsenal and some Brazilians. Some of them did very well. Some of them, they found a little bit difficult to settle in. But in general, the Brazilians we see in the squad now, they are doing great. Good job. Then we look back, from last season when Martinelli, before he got injured, the way he was playing was really good. And after Davi Luiz joined the club, a lot of criticism, but I think he handled all the pressure around him. He managed all the situation, which is important to keep working and doing his job and on a new club. Now with the new signings of Gabriel Magalhães, honestly, I didn't know him before joining Arsenal.
Where was he?
But
was he in France?
Sorry,
where was he before? Was he in France?
I was in France at Lille,
okay.
But I didn't follow him. And seems that he started in the club. Seems very promising. Started well. Is getting to know the Premier League, adapting to a new league, and the strongest league in the world, in a team which is being rebuilt with a new manager. New manager, full of energy and trusting all the players he got, working the best way he can with the tools he got. And Gabriel, we brought him, and William, we know him quite well.
I was so surprised that Chelsea let him go. I think he's been kind of like when Hazard was there, Hazard was the star man, but I always liked William. And I think with Hazard gone, he really stepped up last season. He scored some really important goals for Chelsea last season. So I was shocked that he left. It really was. So was my son, who loves him. But I think it's a great signing. I think what makes the difference is that he's a proven Premier League player, and he's been a successful Premier League player for 6, 7, 8 seasons now. And I think those are the type of players that probably Arsenal, who are rebuilding, they need to have that. And I think it was a brilliant signing. I really do. I was gutted to see him go from Chelsea.
Yeah, I believe it also. He knows the league, and I think after a quite long time at Chelsea, he looks for a new challenge. Arsenal is perfect for him for a new challenge, but to keep proving that he can work well, he can keep play well and contribute to a new club. Of course, there is a lot of people talk about the length of his contract. Right? As long as you got quality in the squad, you add different kind of abilities for the team. His style is different from Gabriel, for example, Gabriel Magalhães, and from other players. And as you mentioned, he's a proven player in the Premier League. He knows everything. He got quality. I think when you got quality, it's this is the most important thing. And I'm sure he's going to help Arsenal a lot. And I'm really happy to see some more Brazilians at Arsenal. But of course, I want them to do well, to represent the club the way the club deserves, the way the fans expect from them, to give them, to fulfill their expectation. Because when you sign a player in a football club, you have a lot of expectation, especially at Arsenal. The last, since Arteta came oh, maybe you can go back even more, after, even before Arsenal, Arsenal,
Mm.
we can say that the fans are expecting a lot of things from the club, high expectation. Then change Arsenal for the new manager. Now with Arteta, what they are expecting that the club make a good sign for them to fight again for the titles in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think obviously with David Luiz and Willian, they both have won the Premier League, both with Chelsea, but they both won the Premier League. I think, and you would know that more than anyone, that experience counts a lot when they're running for title, getting Champions League, whatever their targets are. You need those type of players that can get you over the line.
it's great, well, because they have been through this situation, got the feeling of being champion. I think this is important. That's why, for Arteta and for the squad to win the FA Cup final last season, last game of the season was so important.
Yes.
Very important for them to, start a new year at the club, with a new manager, young manager, but full of energy, win not only the title, but win the confidence of the players, win the confidence of the board, everyone in the club, bring back, to the same direction, bring everyone to the same place where they concentrate their energy, their focus to achieve good things, to great things as the fans expect, And this, is the way. There's not a better way than this, when you start, finish the season, win the FA Cup, and then start a new season as they start, 12 points. After 12 points, you got 9. It's so important for them, to be confident. And now they go to this break, for the international week, and come back, renewed, with full of energy again to restart the games in the Premier League, with the same way they start this first 4 games. It will be very exciting. I'm really looking forward to see, what I haven't seen from them for quite a long time, the consistency. I think what will make the difference for them during the season will be the consistency in their games, in their abilities to maintain their results, to win the big games, because this is very important, because these are mainly the teams they are going to fight for the title.
Yeah.
But everything can change, as we see now. Everton is first in the league.
Crazy, right? Leicester second.
So, yeah, the season
They
looked
lost as well, didn't they?
Yeah, but the season looked very exciting on this new beginning of the season. This new season of the Premier League looked very exciting, and hope that Arsenal can surf in this wave, on a positive way, and find, the a good way to achieve the result everyone is expecting from us, to fight again for the title of the Premier League, but also for the next season to be back in the Champions League.
Yeah. So what do you think? There's actually 2 questions I wanted to ask you. So what do you think? Oh, we didn't finish talking about the signings, because obviously we got Gabriel. We spoke about Williams and Gabriel. Ceballos has gone on for another year's loan. What do you think about him? Was he injured last season? End of last season? I
think he has done great. Especially under Arteta. I think was. My opinion, he played much better. I think after Arteta, everything changed. I think around the clubs, not about the players only, but in general about the surround, and the players on the club, in the club as well. The media was calmed down regarding the negativity, because they have a new manager. Let's wait and see what's gonna bring to the club and to the fans. And people became more patient, looks like. And Ceballos, I think he did well. I think it would be good for us, to keep him for another season, see what the future holds for him. if he's going to be part of a permanent deal in the club in the future.
Yeah.
And then the most excited, I think, of every news in the beginning of the season, any Arsenal fan would expect was the new contract of Aubameyang. Mm-hmm. This was massive for them. It was really important to keep him, and because now they got the main man at the team, and to inspire the others, to keep the fans happy, but not only this, but keep a good player in the team, because it would be very tough for Arsenal to replace him if he had gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think. Well, how would you? You can't replace him. No, it's one of the things that almost every club was wanting to do, is want to go having a natural goal scorer is going to get you 20, 25 goals a season, which he looks like. Well, he does.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's almost like a new signing.
Yes, I was like, the expectation was so high. I received a lot of text messages in my social media. Hey, come on, tell them to sign Aubameyang.
Yeah.
I'm really positive. I was really positive, like many fans, Of course, wait until they announce. And until there, as we know in football, everything can happen. Mm-hmm. But I'm really happy that Aubameyang committed himself to the club, for the next 4 years. And I'm happy for Arsenal. I'm happy the way they start the season, because all these little pieces, you start to build up a strong path, for the future. And what the club are trying to achieve in the medium and long term is important for what they are doing now. What they are doing now is just to rebuilding a new, and I don't know a new style, but under new manager, building the way he believes, but keeping having in mind that they must keep the culture of the club, respecting that, and but bring everyone together as an Arsenal family. Make everyone at Arsenal believe that they can achieve great things, because it will be very important, their support. Anyway, the season is going to be hard and just to start. They will need again the support of everyone, every support, the way they can engage the fans will be so important as well.
Yeah. So do you think that's the biggest thing Arteta's done? So because obviously normally we're going to be talking about the games that are coming up, but it's international break. But so it's what we're going to be doing is talking about Arteta. So what we're going to need to be doing what we're going to do is talk about Arteta to begin with. So we've spoken about Ned. So what do you think the biggest thing that Arteta has done in terms of, well, what do you think is put the feeling obviously done positivity? Do you think it's like hope? Like the Arsenal fans have been struggling for like hope before that they actually are going places. Now it actually feeling that with this positivity, there is some hope now that the club is going in the way that they want it to, and you want it to.
I think what was really important for him is to get the results. For people be patient with their plan, because sometimes in football, people become so impatient. If you see Arsene, he suffered quite a lot in his last few seasons. Yeah. People became impatient. Was not enough for the fans become fourth, even to play Champions League. But then but then they didn't have even Champions League. They play Europa League final, but not enough for a club like Arsenal. And they didn't, and then they lost. And then a new manager came. Unai. The first season seems very promising, but in the second season was tough for him. I think difficult for the players, and the surround around the club was tough because people became so negative, around the club, about the team, about the manager, about the future of the club. This negativity seems like, in a kind of infection in the team. Is go from outside to inside and start to, to annoy everyone, because at some point you don't talk about football. You don't talk about the games. You don't talk about the strategy to win the next game. You start to talk about the problems of the club, what people think is right, what they should do. Yeah, because then you start, the players start to answer about the manager. Is the right guy? What the club should do. This is not the question players should be asking, should be responding, but about their performance, if they are happy, about the way they won or lost a game, something like that. And then as a player, they start, to respond to different questions. It's not their problem. The way the people in the club manage the club, they must find the best way to support the players. I think this is one point. In the technical aspect, the players must concentrate on that job, how they need to be trained, how they need to train, and what they need to do in order to get the results. I think this is the technical part. The management, and the board is another aspect of the club. But sometimes to split these on two different ways in football is quite hard, because the fans are emotional. It's normal. We totally understand that. Sometimes the media very impatient, and the way they put things outside is very negative. And then you have other source from outside, just throwing in negativity in the team.
Yeah.
Arteta was really important, I think, to put a barrier between the players and the news from outside, to keep them like here we must work together. This is the safe place where we concentrate on what we have to do. I think he was very important to unite them. It's like bringing everyone together again at Arsenal way, Arsenal culture.
Well, he demands respect as well. Arteta's an ex-player, and the fans respected him. Whereas I don't think Emery demanded that respect from the fans, so they wouldn't have a go at him and things like this, because people they know other Arsenal fans wouldn't allow an Arsenal fan to kind of take on and disrespect Arteta or the football club. Whereas Emery didn't start out as that powerful person who demands respect. And I think you're absolutely right, having that buffer in between the board and the players and things like this. Arteta is that perfect person who demands, with gravitas, who has that power and won't stand for people bad-mouthing the board, the team, the players, the club, anything. He's brought them all in together. So now the team, the club, the players, the club has someone that they can rely that they're going to take the team somewhere. The players respect him because he's an ex-player, and he's obviously learned under Guardiola. And the fans respect him because he's an ex-player, and he knows that he has Arsenal in his blood.
Yeah, this was very important, I think, for him. Important aspect. To be, a player at the club before he started as a manager in the club. Knowing that, he knew somehow how to bring the people together again. Seems like, when we look from outside, because what, in my opinion, he has done so well is to bring everyone at the club in the same way. Seems like, the people were everywhere in the club. Everyone has their opinion, but not working together. Now we can see, from the mood inside when you go there, when you speak to people at Arsenal, it looks like, he's trying to bring everyone together, work on this way, since the guy at the gate, the front door, to the best player, until on the board, everyone at the board. he's important, I think, for him, for his work, daily basis, but also for everyone at the club. When you work in the club like Arsenal, they have their way of, as we know, for example, the Arsenal way. This is what people expect. Cultivate this culture of outside the club. I think he shows that, he understands that, he understands also what people expect from any manager, because for me it's not a surprise that after Arsene would be very hard for every manager, is especially if the fans does not appreciate who is the next guy.
Yeah.
It's like a combination. It's like when you go to a date. If you don't like the other person, it's not gonna work out. But now without it, my perception is different from the fans, the way they see the new manager, and then important aspect, the results. The result is working very well for them.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Cool. Well, we've got no predictions to do for next week. It's was it Brazil, Bolivia?
Brazil, Bolivia.
And then on the 10th, I think it is. And England have got Belgium, I think it is. So that'll be a tough game for England. So yeah, but next week we can get back on with the predictions.
Yeah.
From our last season.
Our prediction from last season was shit. This season will be a lot better. Yeah. But also really looking forward to watch this new qualification games for Brazil. Will be a lot of pressure for them but I hope they come back strong and to qualify the country for the next season. It's not going to be easy, as we know, in South America, but let's be positive.
Cool.
Thank you, my friend. It was great to be back after a while. And I don't know what's knocking here, but
I'll let you get the phone.
Great to be again. Take care. See you soon.